Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya Aviravirmayeti Rudrayatte Dakshinam Mukham Tena Mam Pahi Nityam. I would like to share with you today a few thoughts on Karma Yoga. The word yoga in Sanskrit can be traced to two different roots, and therefore it has two distinct meanings. One meaning of yoga is concentration, and that is how Patanjali uses the word in his Yoga Sutras. Another meaning of the word yoga is union, to join. And that is how the word is mostly used in Vedanta and in other traditions. Joining requires at least two things. And so in spiritual life, it is the joining of the Jivatma with the Paramatma, or the joining of the finite with the infinite. So yoga is primarily a spiritual discipline. And just as any powerful practice can lead to several results, one of which is the primary result and others are secondary results or byproducts. So similarly, practice of yoga, although it is primarily a spiritual discipline, can also lead to benefits to the body and the mind. So there are physical benefits involved, and therefore which of these benefits get prioritized depend on what is more important to us. Now, all of us are concerned with physical health, and so clearly the health benefits of yoga become of great relevance to many people. Many of us are filled with stress and anxiety and worry, and so the psychological benefits of yoga become relevant to many others as well. When we are told that the practice of yoga can improve my health, the practice of yoga can remove my stress, my anxiety, my worries, of course it becomes very attractive. But if our discussion of yoga is limited only to these physical or psychological benefits, then we may be missing out on something that is even more profound. Life will still remain somewhat shallow if that deepest dimension of our personality is not probed. And that is what yoga is primarily meant to do. So Karma Yoga is one of the many aspects of yoga. Karma Yoga is one of the many ways yoga can be practiced in our life. And karma, of course, is action, activity. So no matter which sadhana one performs, no matter what one is interested in, no matter what one prioritizes in their lives, work we all have to do anyway. And therefore, Karma Yoga becomes necessary for everyone. It may not be the primary practice of everyone, but it has to have some place in our life. And the reason is pretty obvious. Generally, we find that the more the work that we do, the more tired we get. The more we get involved in any work, it leads to stress, anxiety, worry, tension. And therefore, people look forward to vacations. People look forward to a weekend because they say, oh, that time I don't have to work. And then we feel that is the time I can relax. The problem is, if one thinks that, oh, well, if work produces all this tension and worry, if I stop working, then all of this will go. Unfortunately, it doesn't. First of all, we cannot stop working. Well, even if we do not go out and work in a workplace, even at home, we are still doing some work. The art of doing work well, the art of doing work in a way when instead of increasing my worry and anxiety and tension, it will in fact decrease it. That is why sometimes work is described as a kind of key that we use to enter a home. Now, a key is something that does both. It locks and it unlocks. So you turn the key one way, it will lock the door. You turn the key the other way, it will unlock the door. Now, work or karma is like that. You do the karma in one way, you get bound, you get tense, your problems increase, you get exhausted. But is there a way of doing karma differently when none of these things will happen? Instead of getting bound, we will in fact experience freedom. Instead of getting tired, we will instead get filled with greater energy, greater enthusiasm. Is that a way to do it? Yes, there is a way to do that. And that way is, rather than doing karma, we do karma yoga. Doing karma as yoga. Doing karma as a spiritual discipline. Karma yoga means if I work in such a way that I not only feel rested, I not only feel energized, but that work will lead me to freedom. Writing to the Diwan of Junagadh way back more than 100 years ago, Swami Vivekananda wrote in a letter. His name was Haridas Viharidas Desai. To him, Swamiji wrote, he said, 3 things are necessary to make every nation, every individual great. What are those 3 things? First thing, conviction in the powers of goodness. Second, absence of hatred and jealousy. And third, trying to do and help those who are doing good. So doing good and helping those who are doing good. Now, all of these 3 are important, but for today's topic, for this topic, focus especially on the third, that trying to be good and trying to help others be good and do good. That is what should be the ideal of our life. So yoga is something that can be done, but it also needs a lot of reflection in our minds, a lot of thinking. And I would conclude with strongly recommending the 4 books by Swami Vivekananda. They're called Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. Reading these books will show us what the inner meaning of yoga is and how through practicing in one or more or all of these, we all can become truly blessed. That doing this, we will definitely become stronger physically, mentally, morally, emotionally, and most importantly, it has the potential to make us spiritually free. So I conclude with a prayer that through the infinite grace of God, may everyone in the world be enlightened, may their hearts be filled with joy, purity, strength, compassion, and grace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be.